Hello, everyone. Hello, world. It is your girl here, Sharita, coming back to you again with another amazing MBA show, Maximizing Your Business Authority. And tonight we are going to be talking about this piece called credit, y'all. Credit. The benefit of it, how it's more important than just having credit to buy a house or to get a car, but the whole piece of it and how it really affects you. And if you are a business owner, listen, you are missing out on the benefits of having business credit. If you're looking to really expand your business and go further, just imagine what you could do if you have business credit. Let alone say you want to help other people really establish good credit, get their personal credit straight, make sure things are good. Maybe they were victims of fraud. Maybe they were victims of identity theft. It could be a plethora of things, but you want to help them get their life together, get things back on track. Listen, have you ever thought about franchising a credit counseling company? Well, we're going to be talking about all of that tonight because you can benefit so many people, their lives, what you can do, how you can impact them and change and do things so amazing for them if you decide to franchise. But if you don't, whoops, drop my water bottle. But if you don't, and you just really want to get your credit situated so that you can open up, so that you can have good business credit or even just have good personal credit, tune in tonight. It's going to be an amazing one. I have an amazing special guest. See you soon.
Here at MBA, we try to help you be your best. So join Sharita Collins as we join to make your business a success. I see you starting out your business, you seem kinda lost. So come and visit our page and we'll help you be a boss. We'll guide you and support you with new exciting strategies. Join us at MBA, don't let it be a tragedy. We offer help, we offer class. From now we'll start with a little bright sweat. But don't have to stress, just do your best. With us on your side, you'll learn to maximize.
Hello, everyone. Yo, come on in. This is going to be an amazing one. If you have not liked, commented, shared, or anything yet, make sure you share this because there are going to be individuals who need to know this information tonight. Credit is so important. Again, it goes beyond just wanting to buy a house. It goes beyond just wanting to get a car. Nowadays, you need to have good credit in order to get rent, in order to rent even a decent place where you're going to live, right? So it's going to be immensely important. Share this, like it. Hey, what's up, DJ, and everybody else who's coming on? Make sure you let me know that you are in the place today. Let me know where you're from. Make sure you comment in the chat. I want to hear from you and know, because this is important for y'all. Even if you're not going to open up a business or franchise a credit counseling company, it is going to be so important. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Welcome. It's going to be so important for you to know, what does it mean to have good credit for yourself? The benefits of it. What will happen if you have good personal credit and or business credit? How much further you can go if you are looking to do real estate, right? People want to do real estate. Listen, it's going to be good to have good credit if you want to have or do real estate, whether you want to build houses and turn them into rental properties or whatever it may be. Credit will help you immensely when you're looking to grow and expand. So share this, like it, make sure you tell your friends about it because it's going to be an amazing show. Or just make sure to catch the replay. Listen, it's going to be amazing. All right, so I'm going to get right into it. This guest tonight, I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of months ago, and I can't believe it's been this long already. A couple of months ago, I did a presentation for the group that we're now a part of, because I joined the group. that we're now a part of, where we work with other business-minded individuals. We come together, we thought partners, looking to see how we're going to network, how we're going to grow all of our businesses. And this particular person, I mean, he started this credit counseling company several years ago. And now this thing is just jumping and booming. So much so that now he's franchising it. I mean, amazing. So for those of you who are looking to franchise and or even just understand the benefits of credit, this guy will help you. So without further ado, let's bring on Kevin. Hello, Kevin Lewis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to have you on.
Listen, the pleasure and honor and privilege is all mine, Sharita. Your energy is infectious. I truly, truly appreciate you for being a contact, being a professional, and personal connection of mine. So thank you for having me on, and I hope that we can bless the audience
Definitely.
with some little nuggets for tonight.
Yep. Some little nuggets for tonight, right? That people will get on, they'll be able to share, they'll be able to like, comment, and learn some stuff that will be life-changing for them and their situation and everything else. Yeah. So, Kevin, I want for you, if you can, you got to tell us just a little about yourself, sir.
So I was born the son of a sharecropper. No, I was born a small Black young man in the Bronx, New York. I grew up there and then went off to college at age 17 to an HBCU, Virginia State University. Go Trojans.
Hello.
Grew up in a single parent household with a wonderful mother who worked her way through corporate America, learned the ins and outs of the corporate America game, tried to get me involved in the corporate America game. She was, my mother has the distinction of being the first African-American woman to be a district manager for AT&T. Oh. And so she tried to get me involved at an early age in corporate America. But I was born an entrepreneur, wired as one. And there's a difference. I talk to people all the time, and I tell people there's a difference between a person who is a business owner and a person that is wired as an entrepreneur. And so the corporate America route just didn't work for me because I'm a terrible employee. That's and strip it all the way. I'm a terrible employee because, Sharita, I'm always trying to tell the bosses and the owners how to do it better. I just think that I can do it better. There's a cockiness that comes along with being wired as an entrepreneur. But, that doesn't play well. That does not play well in corporate America. I started my first business in 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
I've had several businesses, some of them successful, all of them have been successful because I've learned something new from each one of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them yielded the results I had imagined when I started.
Okay.
But certainly each one of them has taught me something wonderful, and I've parlayed that knowledge into the next venture. So that's who I am.
Oh, nice. Well, with that being said, tell us why you basically started your business. Why did you start what you started?
Great question. So one of the businesses I started back in 2011. Sharita, I don't like to come off braggadocious, but I do like for people to know what I've worked through. I've climbed through some things, and so I got involved in crowdfunding, in the crowdfunding space really early on in its inception. And had the privilege of being able to shape some of the legislation around crowdfunding that you see today. So Brian Neese the owner of Rocket Hub, and I went to Washington back in 2012, and we were able to shape the legislation that determined part of the Jobs Act and equity crowdfunding. So I was in that space for some time, and I was taking on clients who were trying to get business credit. And I have always worked in the African American community. I pride myself on that. And so all of my clients were African Americans, and African Americans are no different in their business ventures in that all businesses need money,
Yeah.
right? All businesses need money. But the issue is African Americans are unique in how they have access to that money and the lack thereof.
Yeah.
Um, So I spent some time in that space, and we were pretty successful. One of our early clients was able to use crowdfunding using our methods. Was able to use crowdfunding to launch a product called the Petty Flop Sandal. Her name is Pramise Martin, and she was on what's the show with Damon John and oh my God,
The wrong one.
uh, where you pitch the ideas. Oh, the name escapes me. Shark Tank. Shark Tank.
Yeah, say Shark Tank. Shark Tank.
So she used crowdfunding, went on to go on to Shark Tank, pitch the idea. Damon John picked it up, helped her get it launched. And so her products are in several major department stores, including Macy's. But that comes from an effort that we had. But she and I had a great professional bond and a personal bond through that process. And I got out of the crowdfunding space because it got really perverted. The crowdfunding space is very perverted in that now, in that people are using it to do all kinds of things. People are using it to do home improvements. People are using it to buy books for school. And that's not the spirit by which crowdfunding was really created.
Mm-hmm.
So I got out of that space, but African Americans still needed Shark Tank. Thank you, Melissa. So African Americans still had the unique challenge of getting access to funding.
Yeah.
And so I looked at my credit. I unfortunately am a product of divorce, and in 2004, I I contributed to a divorce. I take responsibility. I contributed to a divorce, and that divorce led me to a bankruptcy. And I went to my bankruptcy lawyer, and she said to me, "You need to learn about credit because over 60% of people that file bankruptcy end up in a worse position 7 years later, or in the same position or worse 7 years later, and end up having to file bankruptcy again." So you need to understand credit and how to utilize it, and not just to keep from having poor credit, Sharita, and Marcia or Marsha. I'm not sure if I'm mispronouncing it, Melissa. Not just to keep from having poor credit, but using credit to leverage yourself into assets. Many people don't understand that so Sharita, we hear people say all the time, other people's money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't know that concept is credit. That's credit, right? If you go to a bank to get a mortgage, you're using someone else's money to get that property. That's credit, right?
Yeah.
But if you go to a private lender, that's credit.
Yeah.
Somebody says, "I'll give you," whether it's equity financing or debt financing. The truth is, it's still credit.
Yeah.
But people have leveraged credit into a massive amount of wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2005, I delved into my credit and understanding it, and I learned some things. I then found out about this little known thing called business credit. And that I learned that wealthy people don't care about personal credit. They don't care about FICO. They care about Paydex.
Yeah. And
then I learned that wealthy people are using this Paydex score to go buy houses that they live in, cars that they drive, go on these expensive vacations. I bet most people don't know that you can love him or hate him or be in the middle. But Donald Trump has a 386 FICO score. Yet he lives in the lavish homes, he drives lavish cars, and he goes on lavish vacations. He does all of that through business credit. And so I found out that 98% of business owners don't even know what business credit is, and let alone using it.
Yeah.
And Sharita, that's why the 1% are the 1%.
Yeah.
So I said, the wealth gap is the way that it is in this country. And there are other minorities that are struggling through it, Asians, the Latino community, Latina community. they're struggling through it. But I care about the Black community. Not that I don't care about them.
Yeah.
But I know this is a surprise to you guys, but I am Black. I'm an African American. You didn't know. I know you didn't know. I know you didn't know.
Yeah, man, I couldn't tell. I really couldn't tell. You
care about my I really am passionate about my community.
Yeah.
And getting people to a place where we have access to some of these resources that other people have. So I started first helping myself and then helped my immediate family members, some friends. And then in 2016, I launched the actual business. And that's where we are today. We are today.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely dope. Before we kind of go more into where you are today, tell us a little bit more about the Paydex not process, but tell us just a little bit more about that and why you think many of us, you know, within the African American community just aren't aware of this Paydex.
Sharita, so the Paydex score is your business's equivalent of a FICO score. It's the credit worthiness of your business.
Mm-hmm.
The wonderful thing about the Paydex score, so in your FICO score, there are 5 factors that affect it. Your payment, and I'm going to give those things to you in the order of their weight.
Mm-hmm.
Your payment history is 35% of your FICO score. Your credit utilization is 30% of your FICO score. Your credit age is 15%. Your credit mix, the types of credit that you have, is 10%, and your hard inquiries are another 10%. That makes up 100% of your score. Again, each one weighted. One of the most, and I overuse this word, but it is appropriate. One of the most egregious misgivings in this financial institution in America. So President Andrew Jackson created the credit system.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the most egregious things took place right about 1978. People lobbied Congress, business owners particularly, lobbied Congress to establish a method of judging a person's credit worthiness. And the for-profit organization FICO, which is an acronym that stands for Fair Isaac Company.
Mm-hmm.
They are a for-profit organization. Their clients are the banking industry, and their product is the mechanism that judges your credit worthiness. Because prior to them inventing the FICO scoring model, how you got a loan from a bank is if you walked into a bank, the bank would ask you to provide some references for credit.
Mm-hmm.
And people were going out and asking their aunts and uncles, hey, can you write a reference letter for me saying that I borrowed $50,000 from you and paid it back over 2 years? And that wasn't true. And they had no way to track that.
Yeah.
So Fair Isaacs created, the banking industry lobbied Congress. Fair Isaacs was born out of that lobbying, and they created this FICO scoring model. And the most egregious thing in this FICO scoring model is your credit age.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have one credit card, let's say that credit card, you had that credit card for 10 years. That's the only thing you had on your credit. Mm-hmm. Your credit age is going to be 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you had a 700 credit score and you decide you want to go get an Amex card because you now qualify as far as your score is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
You apply and are approved for that Amex card. They're going to take your 10-year history on that first card, your 0-year history on that Amex card, and divide them by 2. So your credit age goes from 10 years to 5 years the minute you are approved for that Amex card. Mm. Now remember, you had a great credit score, which is why you were approved. But the penalty for having a great credit score is your credit score is going to go down.
Yeah.
Because in order to have a good credit score in that category, you have to have 7 years or more of credit history.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Sharita, you just went from 10 to 5, and the only thing you can do to get back to 7 is wait 2 years.
2 years.
That's all you can do. You can't do anything about that. You can't make time go faster for you than it is for me and anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's egregious.
Mm-hmm.
That's egregious.
Mm-hmm.
Business credit has one factor. So I told you there are 5 in the FICO scoring method. Let me see. 5. Let me get my hand. 5. 5. In the FICO, in the Paydex, which is your business's equivalent of FICO, Paydex has 1. Say so. 5, 1. And that's payment history. As long as you pay your bills on time or early, you're going to have a good Paydex score. And the great thing about this Paydex score is, let's say, most companies do what we call net 30 or net terms.
Yeah.
They may do net 30, net 60, net 90. Net means it's an invoice. You're going to get products and services from this company, and they're going to give you an invoice and tell you if it's net 30, you have to pay that invoice within 30 days. So let's say you get an invoice, net 30, and you pay it in 44 days or 2 weeks late. Your Paydex score is going to go down. Let's say it goes down by 20 points. The only thing that you need to do to get those 20 points back is the next time you order products and services from that company or any other company, pay it 2 weeks early.
Oh, that's simple enough.
Simple. You pay it 2 weeks early, it's a wash, you're going to get those 20 points back.
Oh, wow. Look at that. So much more simple.
So realistically, you could take a dip and increase your score in the same 30-day cycle in business credit. That's all. As far as metrics to determine your Paydex score, that's the only thing that they use to see your credit worthiness.
Yeah.
Now, there are 3 factors that they're going to look at in lending to a business. And that is time in business, your Paydex score, and your monthly revenue. Time in business, they're going to want you to prove your time in business, usually through tax returns. So I tell people, if you start a business tomorrow, we're in November right now. At the end of December, you're going to want to file taxes, even if you have no revenue.
Yeah.
Because you want to show that you are an established business. So even if you have no revenue, you can claim expenses, but you don't have to claim any revenue. But file your taxes the year that you open your business, so that when it's time to go apply for business credit, you can show a track record. They're going to ask you. Typically, most lenders are looking for 2 years worth of tax returns. Yeah. And when I say 2 years, I don't mean 24 months. I mean, they want 2020s and 2021s. Right? So that could be a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
They want a Paydex score of 0 to 100. They want a Paydex score of 80 to 100. Paydex ranges from 0 to 100. And then they want to see revenue minimums, and those are determined by the company that you're borrowing from. So some have monthly revenue minimums as low as $2,500. Some go up to $50,000 per month, and then there's everything in between.
So if someone wanted to come to you or your company to say, "Hey, I want to establish business credit so that I can, leverage this wealth," how would they go about doing that?
Listen, call me. At the end of this, we'll put up. I'm assuming we're going to share all of the contact information for the company. But all they have to do is call me, and I'll explain the process. I want to emphasize we are a credit counseling agency. So the company is called Promethean Credit Counseling. You see me emphasizing every letter in that word, counseling. We are a credit counseling agency. And the reason I'm emphasizing that is because we're not just going to push you through a process. We are going to help you understand the what and the why. This is why we're doing this. These are the results that we are hoping to get with this.
It's not just about getting a higher credit score or the whole process of just getting some type of business credit thing established.
No, it is. We want you to know how to do it, because a lot of our clients are multiple business owners. They own multiple different businesses. We'll help you through the first one, and you can just apply the same process through the rest of them. You don't have to pay us for that. You've already got the knowledge. Yeah.
Such is true. Teach a man to fish, he will fish for a lifetime. Compared to that moment. Listen, I do too. Especially some salmon, I guess today. All right. So What is some of the, my next question for you is basically like, so what are some of the common mistakes in your industry that you see many business owners make?
The common mistakes I see in it's the common mistakes I see in most industries. One is they don't investigate business credit.
Mm,
They don't. This is not unique again to my industry. It's unique. I mean, it's common among all industries. You don't establish business credit, and very importantly, you don't keep your personal and business finances separate.
mm, yeah.
Now, let me say to the audience, I'm not scolding you guys. For the first 2 years of my business, I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not out here preaching and not practicing. I messed up too. I messed up. But that's a common mistake, is not keeping those two things separate and then not establishing business credit early in the process. So a lot of times what happens, Sharita, is clients come to me on the business credit side and they're under duress.
Mm,
Personal credit is messed up. Their business needs an injection of cash, and it needs an injection of cash to survive. They heard talk of this business credit thing. Oh, great, Kevin, I can leverage business credit instead of personal credit. Nope.
yeah. Yeah.
They are Business credit and personal credit are tools in a toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
A carpenter wouldn't show up to build a house with just a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer, saw, screwdriver. So business credit, personal credit, those are two tools that you're going to need. And early in the business credit building process, the lenders are going to rely heavily on your personal credit to determine your credit worthiness until you've established some level of credit with them on your business side.
Yeah. So now would that be the same for nonprofits?
It's the same
Same
process
okay.
for every business.
Every business. Okay.
Every business. It's a four-phase process, and I don't care. You don't have to use Promethean credit counseling, although you should. But you can use any business credit building organization, agency, business that you want. We all use the exact same four-phase process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be any different.
Awesome. And so my next question for you is, you mentioned the 2-year mixing of the funds. What were some of the hard knock lessons that helped shape your business?
Oh, this is so easy to answer. The hardest knock lesson for me in all of my businesses is you can't do this alone. You can't. So I'm an only child, and I grew up in a single parent household.
Mm-hmm.
So I have never had to share. Now I do know how to share. I was taught very well. My mother was an excellent, she's still alive. She's an excellent mother, and she taught me how to share early.
Mm-hmm.
But what I never got comfortable with is help, asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And so I fumbled through a lot of businesses and made huge errors, costly errors. One of the major errors that I made, guys, is I have $265,000 worth of student loans.
Oof, that's a lot of student loans.
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 Mm-hmm.
Now, had I had a business partner, so that came back to bite me. That came back to bite me about 7 years after I took out the loans,
Mm-hmm.
because I went to go get some financing for my business, and my credit scores were there, but my debt to income ratio wouldn't let me get it.
Mm-hmm.
Too much outstanding debt.
Mm-hmm.
Had I had a business partner, and I was running a business prior to me starting working on my doctorate degree. So had I had a business partner who said, look, what you're doing in your personal life for your personal growth may affect us in our professional growth, you might want to think about how you approach that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I might not have made that error. And that error, Sharita, it cost me about 8 years worth of working through.
Yeah. Yeah.
this place. So I would tell you, you cannot build a business alone. No man is an island. Go out and get you don't have to have a business partner, but go out and get a team of people that you can trust, that show you the skills. And then, Sharita, let them do what they do.
Yeah.
Let them do what they do. Don't try to be the smartest person in the room. I'm always trying to be the dumbest person in the room.
Yeah.
I got the COO of my company. She is top notch. I'm telling you, she has more talent in her pinky finger, the tip of her pinky finger, than I have in my entire body. And
Yeah.
I rely heavily on her to move us where we are. I'm so grateful for her.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely awesome. And I think that's great advice, because it's kind of like, me being in the industry that I am in, with graphic branding, designing, but also mainly with the coaching piece, that I run into several people who choose not to use me or go with me because they feel like they can do it on their own and moving forward with their business. And I'm like, that's cool, rock out, to each his own, right? But it really is a team effort. It really is. Even having thought partners to kind of bounce ideas off with, think things through, their knowledge and expertise. And then, of course, always having training, right? Always learning new things, networking, communicating with different people. But I think that is absolutely great advice and information to say, hey, don't do this alone. Like, hire somebody or bring on the right team of people. Like you said, people who you can trust, right, as you move forward with your business. So I think that's absolutely great. Absolutely great.
Sharita, let me say this to the audience. If those of you who are business owners and personal, if you are not using Sharita's coaching service or marketing service or a combination of both, you're missing out. The only reason I'm not using them right this moment is just because we have done something recently that requires my attention, and we've got to finish out this year in the first quarter. But you can best believe she is the goods. If you are not using her services, you are really missing out. You need to have her on your team for marketing and coaching.
Thank you. Didn't expect that plug, but thank you so much, Kevin. I so appreciate that. And so with that, tell us more about this whole franchising piece. Thanks, Dee. But tell us more about this whole franchising piece that Prometheum Credit is doing. Like, I want you to give us all the goods about that and how your company is expanding.
I'm gonna take a dramatic pause right here.
Okay.
So as of 2 weeks ago, it'll be 2 weeks on Wednesday of this week, we have the distinction of being the only Black-owned, Black-operated, and servicing predominantly Black clientele credit counseling franchise in the nation. I'm going to say that one more time, and I'm going to say it with authority. Let me see my rock eyebrow.
Get it.
We have the distinction of being the only Black-owned, Black-operated, servicing Black clientele predominantly credit counseling franchise in the nation. Now, I want to say this to you guys. We are not the franchisees. We are the franchisors.
Yes.
So when you look at a McDonald's, we are the McDonald's. We are not the RFL group as McDonald's. We are the McDonald's. And that's huge because there aren't very many Black-owned franchises, period.
Mm-hmm.
Out of I am grateful because there's one here out of Philadelphia that does Jumping Jack Tax Services. Like them. Is another franchise. They do taxes, of course, but we are. Thank you, Christine. We are among the only companies, the only Black-owned franchises in the nation. That's in any industry. But certainly we hold the distinction of being the only franchisor doing in the credit counseling space. Yeah. And so we took on our first franchisee on Wednesday. We're looking to take on our second on Thursday. And anybody who believes that credit counseling, personal and business, could be beneficial and could be a great part of your portfolio, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you for that. I don't want to mispronounce your name, but I'm going to go out on a limb. Is it Taisha Ruffin? Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So if you are interested, you can certainly, there are franchise opportunities. And then again, there's never a shameless plug, because I think that one of the challenges, not the problems, one of the challenges in the Black community is we're really afraid. We're afraid to shout from the mountaintops what we do and what we're doing, and we're afraid to say Black, and we're afraid to go out and get it. I'm not afraid because, and I know where that comes from. I know where that comes from. It wasn't 100. It was less than 100 years ago. Sharing information like this could get you killed.
Yeah.
Could get you and your family killed easily, and that was less than 100 years ago, right? We saw what happened in all of the Black Wall Streets, and I want you guys to do research. Tulsa, Oklahoma is not the only Black Wall Street. I wish they would talk more about. It's not even the first. Richmond, Virginia had the first Black Wall Street. Raleigh, North Carolina had another one. There's one in St. Louis. So there are many Black Wall Streets, but you notice there aren't any today. Harlem was a Black Wall section, right? There were 21 African-American owned banks in Harlem. I'm sorry, 17 banks in Harlem in 1969. There are 21 Black owned banks in the nation today total.
Yeah.
By the way, Killer Mike and the guy, I forgot his name, the guy that started Bounce TV are creating a new bank called Greenwood Bank. They are an online bank, much like Varo and Chime.
Yeah.
I know I'm off on a tangent, true, but indulge me if you will.
But you also are educating. You're also educating, which is awesome.
And the reason I bring up Killer Mike and the gentleman from I wish I remembered his name, but the gentleman from Bounce TV. The reason I bring up Greenwood Bank, by the way, if you want to learn more about Greenwood Bank, the website is bankgreenwood.com. That's Bank Greenwood. Greenwood is the name, of course, of the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's named after that. But they have decided that they were going to start this online bank, and they are catering to Black-owned businesses. And they're really looking to lend to Black-owned businesses that have difficulty getting lending from other industries for whatever reason, including one of the biggest challenges I've had in my business is getting financing for my credit counseling business, because my credit counseling business works in direct contrast to the banking industry, right? Yeah. I'm helping people get over on the banking industry. So they don't want to give me any lending. So Greenwood Bank is looking to finance companies like mine who are expanding, and companies like hairstylists and barbers who have difficult because their revenues fluctuate so dramatically.
Yep, you hear that, Chantel? You hear that? I'll be on, but Chantel, your hair company, she was on a couple of weeks ago. And so she talked about that, being a hairstylist. So, yep. So
go on to bankgreenwood.com, sign up. They are doing a waiting list. I think I just got an email today. There are 200,000 people waiting to deposit money. And at minimum, open a small account and put some money in it. At maximum, move all your money into it. But it's going to be easy like the rest of the online banks. And I encourage you, because the more deposits we make into this bank, the more lending goes out to Black-owned companies. And that's how we move the agenda forward. But my company, I'm really, really proud, not because the financial reasons. The financial reasons are so far down the list. The reason I'm proud of us being able to franchise is because our mission is to have every African American in this country have a FICO score of 750 or greater and a PAYDEX score of 80 or 80 to 100 if they decide to be business owners. What that does is that opens up lending, and lending opens up the ability to expand businesses and generate wealth, right? And then pass that wealth on to other generations, right? So that's how we build the generational wealth. But the whole spirit behind my company is I need all these people not just for wealth. We need to be a power base. So Sharita, we can go change the laws.
Yeah.
So the banking industry lobbied Congress back in 1980 to get the FICO scoring model.
Mm-hmm.
I want to lobby Congress to remove the credit age piece of that FICO model. And we're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to get it done. Sharita, you, me, Carlene, Felicia, Christine, all we're going to get it done because we're going to create an army of people that has leverage
Mm-hmm.
to go to Congress and say, look, this is a misgiving.
Yeah. 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 No, that's really cool. And that is absolutely powerful because when you think about it, you don't want to be gypped out and get your credit score cut in half just because you decided to get a new credit card or you got something or you got a ding on it because then you're about to get a new car and they want to run your credit or something like that. And, all these different pieces, or you're now about to buy a house and it's a whole nother thing where now you're all jacked up when you're trying to do other things moving forward. So definitely, I think that's something good because not everybody wants to own a business. So they may not have a Paydex, right? And
Right.
So for them to have their regular personal credit in proper order is definitely going to be something awesome. And we can do that. We can be a part of these history makers and changers as you already are. Your company has already made history. The nation, seriously, the nation. I mean, yeah, now we have, a vice president woman, woohoo, who's also African-American, right, or biracial. She's mixed, but she's up in there, you know what I'm saying? So
she went to HBCU and she's a soror. So
yes, she is. So look, so there's a lot of history that is being made, and that's absolutely awesome here within this 2020, right? So that's absolutely.
I apologize for interrupting you. Let me add this one piece because this is crucial and critical. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
In this country, in order to establish on your own to establish a FICO score, you have to be 18 or older.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess how old you have to be to establish a Paydex score?
12.
Great answer. Great answer. You can establish a Paydex score the minute you are given a Social Security number.
Wow.
So Donald Trump, again, you can like him or hate him,
Mm-hmm.
but Donald Trump likes to tell people that he's a self-made millionaire. But when Donald Trump was 9, his father, Frederick, gave him 2 gifts. He gave him an endowment, which amounts to about, I believe, I may have the numbers off, but it's around $400 million in today's money, and started him on business credit, which is why he was able, when he turned 21, why he was able to go and build Trump International as you know it. He has never, that's why he has a 386 credit score, not because he misused credit. He's never built a personal credit profile.
Yeah.
So I say, if you don't have a business, that's fine. Register your children as businesses, even if they're not going to use them, and build business credit in their name. Because guess what? That's how these wealthy people are paying for their children to go to Harvard. You notice they don't do student loans?
They sure don't. That's so smart. And that's right, because you can always do your name as a business, but you would separate it from your social. So like, I have Sharita Collins, a comment, whatever. So I have that as a business, but it's my name, but it's separated from me. And so, of course, you have your business, doing business as Sharita Collins or whatever. But I can really do that with my kids. I didn't even think about that. That is great knowledge. I got 3 of them. Jokers. 3. So I'm just saying I can do it all 3 of them. So
here's what you do, Sharita. How old are your children, if you don't mind me asking?
8 months, 4, and 5.
Perfect. Register them all as business owners.
Mm-hmm.
Build their business credit. Each one of them build business credit. And when it's time to go to school, instead of taking out student loans, take out a business loan. And the business purpose is to further their education so they can expand their business. That's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing anyway. Because I'm going to raise them as business owners anyway. Like,
That's what they're doing.
I'm gonna be raising them as business owners. I do that now with them when I'm talking with them and teaching them now at 4 and 5. So that makes
And,
sense.
and guess why? Because if you file bankruptcy personally, your student loans don't get written off. But if you file bankruptcy with your business loan gone.
Mm. Mm.
Donald Trump. You can like him or hate him, but he knows what he's doing. $750 in taxes. Wow. And he has bankrupted more businesses than you guys will ever be involved in combined. And yet he's still where he is.
Wow. Wow, look at that. So that's good. I think that is great knowledge and information right there. That's absolutely awesome. So yeah, right, Felicia, learning something new, right? That's for me. I mean, that was really mind-blowing. Yes, Taisha. So what is one thing? I mean, you already educated us. You taught us something. I can't even ask you my last question because you already taught it to us. Right. You already taught it to us. But that was absolutely amazing. For those who are out there, do you have any questions for him here, for Kevin specifically around it? We'll keep talking until you come up with your questions. Yeah. But you can always, of course, look him up. For those of you who came in a little bit later, on www.promesian.com for his website to see how you can participate and become a franchisee. Right? Remember, they are the franchisors. And only one in the nation, Black owned, right, in the credit counseling space. So you get to get on board and become a franchisee with their organization. Again, you see how McDonald's is? They are blown up, and now McDonald's is international, right? I went to Greece and I saw McDonald's there. The burgers taste a little bit different, but it was still a McDonald's. It's still part of their franchise. And we also see it with those what are those stores? Not 7-Eleven. The one where the hoagies, the guy who used to do the commercials with the hoagies and the health stuff. And
Jared, Subway.
Yeah, Subway. Thank you, Subway. Yep. So Subway basically, they own so many, right? And then usually the people who you see owning them are a lot of the Indians from the, not Native American Indians, but the actual Indians who come over from Indonesia. And so many of them own a lot of those particular companies. They're franchising. Listen, there's a lot of franchisees out here, a lot of franchisors, but this is one I think we should definitely get connected with and connected to. And then you get to help so many people. You'll provide training, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so you'll get training. You won't have to feel like you won't know what you're doing, because they're going to educate you and they're going to make sure that you are comfortable with everything within all of that. So definitely reach out to him. His website, promesian.com, Facebook, Promesian, Instagram, Promesian, right? You can definitely find him there. This face, yeah, all of it. You'll find it. So I definitely think we all should take this knowledge and information and look into establishing business credit even for our children, and get some more info on it. Do your research. I'm going to tell you that. Definitely do your research, and definitely see how you're going to take those next steps. Part of that too is connecting with them. Promesian. All right, Kevin, do you have any other information for us that you would like to share before we end out this evening?
Two things. So if I'm mispronouncing it, I do apologize. But if I am mispronouncing it, Marcia, please correct me. If it's Marcia, just send me a comment saying it's Marcia, or if it's Marcia, just say, Kevin, you're pronouncing it correctly. I hate to mispronounce names. That was
it's actually Dr. Marcia Larkins.
Doctor, my sincerest apology, Dr. Marcia Larkins. So,
yes.
So Dr. Larkins, let me give you your respect. Let me sit up straight then.
She's an amazing person. I absolutely love her.
So you said knowledge is power, and I you're not wrong, but I like to dispel that misnomer. The application of knowledge is power. Right? If you know how to change a flat tire, you get on the highway, the tire goes flat, but you don't get out and apply the knowledge, then the knowledge is useless. Right? So I like to tell people the application of knowledge is power. And the reason I say that, Sharita, why it was important for me to address that is because I get frustrated. This is a personal thing, but I get frustrated with Black people who spend their entire lives collecting knowledge.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
They go to seminar after seminar. Seminars are telling them the same thing over and over again. Other people's money, other people's money, other people's money. And then they say business credit. And then they go home and do the same things over and over again. We've got to apply the knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've got to do. You guys just heard me say, register your children, even if you don't think they're going to do anything with the businesses. Register them as businesses, establish business credit so that you can use it for their personal lives.
Yeah.
So that you can use it to go to school. Let me tell you one other thing about business credit versus personal credit. So the house that I live in and the car that I drive, not bragging, the house that I live in and the car that I drive were purchased with a business loan. Let me tell you the difference between a mortgage and a business loan. So a mortgage is what we call front-loaded with interest, meaning on a 30-year fixed mortgage, for the first 15 years, you're paying really just the interest, right? You're not chipping away at the principal.
Yeah.
You buy a $100,000 house over 30 years, that $100,000 house can end up costing you $333,000.
Yep.
Right? So you're spending an extra $230,000 for a house that's supposed to cost you $100,000. Business credit, you buy it with a business loan, it's backloaded. So let's say now business loans typically have a higher percentage, but they backloaded. So let's say you go get a $100,000 loan, it's going to be at 10% interest. So they're going to calculate the 100,000 times 10%. The loan you're going to pay back is $110,000, and that's it, no matter what the term is.
Yeah.
Which means you just saved your child's tuition at an Ivy League school. Did you just hear what I said?
Yeah.
Over 30 years,
yeah.
You just paid for your child to go to an Ivy League school by establishing and using business credit to buy your home instead of same house.
Yeah.
Same
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Same house.
Yeah.
Wow. That's it.
It makes sense. Apply the knowledge and then I think Eileen was sharing it. Okay, and then share it with others. Exactly. So no, that's absolutely good. That's absolutely amazing when it comes down to that. And I know some people on here have grandkids, right? So could they establish this for their grandkids, right?
Anybody, as long as they have a social security number. The DACA children, social security, businesses.
Yeah.
And if they had businesses, that's an ugly situation. But if they had businesses, it would be much more difficult to move them out of the country. Just say. But I'm not getting into politics. Bottom line is, as long as they have a social security number, you can register them as businesses, and it doesn't matter who registers them.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely amazing. So I think that's really great knowledge for us, because you got to think about our future, right? We're thinking about the next generation, the transferring of wealth, the particular money of how we're going to establish things for our kids, our grandkids as well, besides just savings, right? How much money will you really be able to save? You can save it, but you can do a lot more with more that you have to be able to leverage and to apply. So this has been absolutely great. Thank you so much for these knowledge, this knowledge of wisdom, these nuggets of information that we are going to apply, right, y'all? We are going to apply them to our lives. We're going to make sure we educate ourselves, that we know what we're doing, that we seek some information and understanding from Kamisi in here through Kevin's team, and that we get started. Even if that next thing is what I'm going to do and how I'm going to establish stuff for my kids, right? Or my grandkids, or maybe you got some nieces and nephews and you now want to get them started and moving forward with some things. So you never know, right? Great show. Thank you so much, Kevin. I so appreciate this. We're going to have you on again.
I had so much fun. I am honored. Like I said, it's an honor, privilege.
Definitely. It was definitely a privilege having you on. And I think many people on here would definitely agree the information and knowledge was definitely so beneficial. So,
so I'm going to, Shrita, if you would do me a favor, somebody just asked where can they obtain my information, and I sincerely apologize, but I've got something at the bottom of my screen that's preventing me from being able to type into the chat.
The chat itself, the private chat?
I'm sorry, in the comments. Somebody made a comment, and I was going to try to share my information. Can you, but I'm not able to get to the comment box. There's something on my screen. It's on my end.
Okay. So, all right. You want me to put it in here for you?
If you would, please.
All right.
So name is Kevin Lewis, Lewis. Deborah's first and only born.
Yeah.
The name of the company is Promethean Credit Counseling.
Mm-hmm.
The phone number is 215-904-8690. The email address is info@promethean.com. And the website, of course, is promethean.com, and it is scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
All righty. Okay, I'm going to put this all in the chat. Oops.
And if you guys call the offices and get no answer, please leave a voicemail with your name and a contact number to reach you. And we will make sure we get back to you within 24 hours.
Yes, awesome sauce. I'm about to put up on the other part of the screen too. My tech guy got booted out somehow. All right, so we're gonna have this. I got this up. All right, so you can see a little bit better. It's also in the chat, but it's also here. So you can also see it here. Information, email, got phone number. Make sure you reach out and you can connect, and we'll be all good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Kevin. Again, I appreciate you coming out, and thank you for sharing all of this good, wonderful information and these nuggets of everything. And again, we're gonna have to have you back because more people need to hear this.
I'm excited, and I appreciate. Keep doing what you're doing. This is a wonderful platform, and I appreciate all of the listeners, the audience, Felicia, Taisha, Marcia, Carlene, everybody, Rochelle, everybody that's on. Thank you for spending your evening with me. Mm-hmm. I'm humbly grateful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, great people. Thank you so much. And we will be back next week. I'm supposed to have an actor on, so we'll see. We gotta do some final confirmations of some stuff. Oh, you're welcome, Mom Shell. You're welcome. All right, everyone. See you later.
Here at NBA, we try to help you be your best. So join Sharita Collins as we join to make your business a success. I see you starting out your business, you seem kinda lost. So come and visit our page and we'll help you be a boss. We'll guide you and support you with new exciting strategies. Join us at MBA, don't let it be a tragedy. We offer help, we offer class. For now we'll start with a little bright sweat. But don't have to stress, just do your